start in 1965, when racing icon Carroll Shelby took the early Ford Mustang and turned it into a track-ready muscle car. This timeline plots horsepower climbing from vintage origins to today's massive exponential curve, pushing past 850. Notice the line splits: high-volume factory models and specialized post-title packages. The 1965 to 1970 era holds peak collector value, while modern eras offer high sales volume. Because of this fractured lineage, the Shelby badge does not mean one single thing anymore. Assuming every Shelby offers the same type of performance is the fastest way to make a disastrous, expensive purchase. Today's Shelby market attracts three specific types of buyers: the heritage investor, the track optimizer, and the brute force enthusiast. Each is chasing a completely different currency. The investor wants asset appreciation and pure history. The optimizer is hunting for surgical lap times and chassis engineering. And the enthusiast is paying for raw, straight-line speed. This Venn diagram breaks down the reality of buying one of these cars. You have heritage, track precision, and straight-line speed. As you can see, no single car sits in the exact center intersection. It is impossible to maximize all three at once. You must ignore the marketing hype and take a hard look at your actual garage space, your operating budget, and how you genuinely plan to drive the car. To avoid buyer's remorse, you need to grade a Shelby strictly against the specific currency of your buyer segment. Let's evaluate exactly what each generation actually delivers. The first generation era from 1965 to 1970 is the genesis of the raw muscle car, starting with the original GT350 and GT500 models. These cars are defined by their early high-output V8s and functional fiberglass styling components. Buying into this era secures the absolute highest value, peak collector status available in the entire Shelby lineage. But you're taking on immense maintenance budgets and completely sacrificing modern drivability, safety features, and basic comfort. The first generation is a highly appreciating financial asset and a historical artifact first, and a functional driving machine second. Moving to the S197 generation, Ford successfully reintroduced the Shelby badge back to high-volume factory production. This era reached its mechanical peak in the 2013 and 2014 GT500, which utilized a massive 662 horsepower supercharged Trinity V8 engine. The result is terrifying straight-line speed, backed by a massive and highly accessible aftermarket for owners who want to tune it even further. However, you are buying a raw engine, not sophisticated chassis dynamics. This platform lacks the advanced cornering geometry and suspension tuning found in newer models. The S197 is strictly for the brute force enthusiast. Your primary goal here is stoplight dominance and a raw, dominating auditory presence. Ford completely changed their approach with the S550 generation, targeting cornering speed and sophisticated engineering over sheer muscle. This era features two wildly different power plants. The GT350 uses a high-revving 5.2-liter Voodoo flat-plane crank V8, while the GT500 relies on a 760-horsepower supercharged Predator V8 paired with a dual-clutch transmission. These highly specialized setups deliver supercar-level track times and high-revving, surgical driving dynamics that rival the best European exotics. The trade-off is high consumable costs for tires and brakes, along with a harsh daily ride quality caused by those stiff, competition-grade chassis modifications. The S550 demands a driver willing to sacrifice comfortable daily street driving for uncompromised precision on a racetrack. With the current S650 generation, extreme performance is largely driven by Shelby American's post-title packages rather than the Ford factory lines. The hardcore build process involves slapping a 3.0-liter Wibble supercharger onto the 5.0-liter Coyote V8 to push an astronomical 830 to over 850 horsepower. To keep that power on the road, these cars require distinct carbon fiber wide-body bodywork, forged magnesium wheels, and extreme cooling packages. But you are dealing with the complexity of post-title build logistics, paying massive premiums and accepting the stark reality that it is nearly impossible to put 850 horsepower down reliably on public streets. The S650 Super Snake is an exercise in absolute excess. It exists for those who want ultimate modern street presence, regardless of cost or practicality. This decision tree flowchart breaks down exactly where to spend your money based on your primary ownership goal: If you are an investor or purist seeking historical significance, follow this branch. You must choose the first-generation models from 1965 to 1970. If you want a pure driver's car with oral perfection and track precision, you follow the second path. You need the sophisticated engineering of the S550 GT350 or GT500. If your goal is absolute, uncompromised road dominance and maximum horsepower, follow the third path. Your choice is between the S197 or a modern S650 Super Snake. Be honest about your reality. Buying a stiff, aggressive track package when your actual routine consists of weekend highway cruising will only lead to frustration. Aligning your financial budget and your tolerance for a harsh ride with the specific engineering output of a generation is the only way to win this game. The perfect Shelby is rarely the one with the highest horsepower figure. It is the one that flawlessly executes your specific automotive mission. Over 60 years, this badge has stretched from raw 1965 race cars to 850 horsepower modern monsters. Yet, despite this fractured lineage, the Shelby name consistently represents the absolute pinnacle of what a Mustang can achieve. Define your true driving reality, identify the currency you value most, and choose your era wisely.